Hello, I'm Ricky ISAIAS. You have a chance to learn more about the public safety bond by taking part in several community meetings. The city is hosting 6 public meetings on the proposed 2019 public safety bond. If approved by voters, the bond will be used to pay for public improvements to the fire and police department, including vehicles and equipment. Meeting dates are on your screen. The first one is Tuesday, September 24th. City staff will give you a presentation explaining the proposed bond and answer questions about the proposed projects and the impact to taxpayers. The city will also participate in a variety of additional community meetings, such as district meetings. The city is not advocating for or against the bond, but to make sure the public is well informed when heading to the polls. More information on the 2019 Public Safety Bond is available online at elpasobonds2019.com. Early voting for the November 5th bond election is October 21st, and it runs through November 1st. In a ceremony that included bagpipes, a gun salute, and a ringing of the bell, the El Paso Fire Department honored the victims, first responders, and heroes of the 9/11 terror attacks 18 years ago. The city has recognized 9/11 every year, but this year, Fire Chief Mario D'Agostino says it hits closer to home.
There's a lot of federal, state, local law enforcement, public safety agencies. We all work together, as it showed on those tragic events on August 3rd. We're also a military community with Fort Bliss. So to remember those who've been fighting the war on terrorism for 18 years and counting now is important for El Paso.
The service was held at Fire Station 18 in the Mission Valley. That fire station has a dedicated memorial that has steel beams from the World Trade Center. This month, the Department of Public Health is celebrating National Preparedness Month. Your City in 5 correspondent Armando Saldivar tells us why the city's preparedness program is something important for all of us.
That explosion coming through the World Trade Center tower has now ripped a second hole.
The Public Health Emergency Preparedness section was instituted after 9/11. What we do is we respond to community-wide disasters, any kind of emergency situations, including mass prophylaxis of the El Paso population, radiological response, severe weather disasters.
Going forward, I'm going to be talking as if it were a real-life incident.
In today's landscape, bioterrorism is a very real threat, so we do prepare for that. In this particular scenario, we simulated a dirty bomb, a chemical bomb that went off on the far east side. The community reception center was set up downtown for people that may have been exposed or secondarily exposed. There we would assess them for contamination. If they were contaminated, we would decontaminate them either through a wet or dry process. We worked in conjunction with the fire department. We had a lot of volunteers from the community. About 80% of our work is actually in research. We look at similar events that we're looking at and how other communities across the nation respond to them. We institute their lessons learned into our plans, and then we inform the community either through social media, through the training events that we have, or just normal outreach like tabling. Have a plan. If you're at home, have a meetup place that your family would get together in the event of an emergency, like a severe thunderstorm. Have a plan for sheltering in place. If you have to stay in your house for whatever kind of emergency event, make sure you have things such as batteries, radios that are operated by batteries. Your cell phones may run out of charge, so have your contacts written down in a hard copy. And just food and water for several days, just in case you need to hunker down for a while.
Thank you, Armando, for that report. Now, the health department is giving away 3 of these preparedness kits that have jumper cables, tools, a flashlight, and other stuff to help you in case of an emergency. Now, to get one, follow the Department of Public Health on Facebook and Twitter. Share a preparedness kit video giveaway that's on those social pages, and you'll be entered into a drawing. Now, winners will be announced on September 30th. A monument to honor El Paso soldiers who fought in World War II has been shown to the public. The miniature model of what the memorial may look like was presented during a public meeting. It will honor the brave men of Company E, the only Mexican-American infantry unit who fought in the war. 250 soldiers from Texas made up that unit. 124 were from El Paso. Sculptor and El Paso native Julio Sanchez de Alba created the piece and is making modifications based on public input. Family members say it's important to pay tribute to those El Pasoans who made the ultimate sacrifice.
So what the artist is proposing is a monumentally scaled work that will be 18 feet high, 18 feet in length. We'll have 5 figures, 5 soldiers out of bronze. Each of these figures are about 8 feet tall that will be showing basically the height of the story of Men of Company E, the apex of that story in which they are storming the river.
I think it's going to be incredible. It's so different from the Delta Monument. I mean, it really just shows the men, you know, the grimaces on their face, and I think it's going to just be incredibly beautiful.
Council approved funds from the Public Art Program to build the art piece. The monument will be built as a companion to the Company E Memorial that's already at Delta Park. You can learn how to better serve your neighborhood and our community during the 2019 Neighborhood Summit. It highlights citizen involvement with guest speakers and an informational fair. The free event is from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, September 14th at the Centennial Banquet Center on Fort Bliss. Themed Together We Serve, the summit is a great opportunity for residents to learn about the proposed city bond, city departments, and city services, neighborhood associations, as well as build community relationships. The yearly Neighborhood Summit celebrates strength, history, and diversity of our city's neighborhoods. Well, an old racquetball room used for storage at the Acosta Recreation Center has been converted into a new wrestling room. The Parks and Recreation Department came up with an idea to clean the room, fix it up, and add new wrestling mats and wall padding.
I used to wrestle as soon as I started working here. I really wanted to implement a little bit of wrestling within the city. So when I found out this space was available, you know, just kind of rarely being used, I, asked our sports manager, Hawk Scott, see if we could revitalize it, put some mats in here, make it a wrestling room.
The wrestling room opened up a few weeks ago, and staff has already hosted a few wrestling clinics for the public. It's available to rent, and anyone can use it for a small fee. Well, a new cute and cuddly pup has entered the Animal Services shelter, but no, this isn't a lost pet. It's a new mascot. Animal Services will soon unveil its mascot, but there's one thing our pup needs: a name. The department is asking for you to pick from these three names: Franklin, Sunny, and Wilson. You can vote on the Animal Services Facebook page. Voting ends on September 16th. The winning name and the mascot itself will be unveiled at an upcoming adoption on September 21st. Speaking of mascots, Chico from the El Paso Chihuahuas wants students to get a library card now that school has started. It doesn't cost residents anything, but more importantly, it can come in handy because it gives students access to ebooks, online study materials, and computers. September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month. Chico already has his card. You can get yours too at any library branch. Visit elpasolibrary.org for more info. We're out of time on this edition of Your City in 5, but remember to stay connected with the City of El Paso by visiting EPCONNECT.TODAY. We're also on social media, and of course, you can always catch us on City TV. Until next time, I'm Ricky ISAIAS for Your City in 5.